Hey everybody, I'm Nicole.
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Sarah, and together we're the co-founders of Whale Tales, a living library of cetacean stories.
And today, it's a jolly, jolly dolphin day. Kind of. Happy holiday!
Happy holidays! So sit back and enjoy as we dive right in.
Diddle-doo. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy just solstice, you know, all the things. Happy holidays, Happy December.
Yay. Happy December.
Time off if you have it.
Yes.
We up here in the Northern Hemisphere and in our particular families are celebrating Christmas. And as such, we are in the gift-giving mood. And so we wanted to give a gift to you, our listeners, because we love you so much and you're the best and we think you might enjoy it.
This episode is our Whale Tales Watches Patreon episode from last December. We're talking about the Hallmark movie Mystic Christmas, which is a special movie. And when I was going through the file, you'll be excited to know that there's a lot of rants in here.
I'm not surprised.
So, this episode is also a special crossover event with Sarah and my other podcast, Charts and Hearts, where we talk about rom-coms, but in a nerdy way, because if you haven't noticed by now,
have you noticed?
We're nerds.
Yeah.
So you'll hear some segments from that podcast, as well as our segments that we have in our Whale Tales Watches podcast. So we hope you enjoy this movie that's not called Sealed with a Kiss, which is, I think, one of the things we rant about probably the most.
Yes.
Probably.
So, here we go for Listen to Past Us.
Hello, and welcome to the Charts and Hearts Club. We're so glad you're here to support us. Thank you so, so much.
And also welcome Whale Tales Watches!
Yay! That's right, it's a special holiday event crossover episode. We've got Nicole, we've got Whale Tales Watches. We don't have any whales, sadly. But today we are talking about the Hallmark movie Mystic Christmas.
Which is a movie that happened.
It is a movie that happened. Yeah, I guess we should do a very quick
I was thinking about
summary,
that.
Because there's not a lot of plot, but I think we can sum it up pretty fast.
Yeah.
Nicole, do you want to sum it up?
Super quick, because we can leave all the problems to the next section.
Yes.
Because it'll be a long section.
Okay, first and foremost, I don't know anybody's name.
That's okay.
Oh, no. Blonde girl and boy.
Boy, yep. Blonde girl is a marine biologist who specializes... Maybe. Yeah, we'll get back to that. But she is positioned as a marine biologist and who specializes in seals of all variety, doesn't matter the species, and specifically their rehabilitation and release. She gets called to come and help with an emergency situation or an unplanned situation with a harbor seal who's been brought to the Mystic Aquarium and Rehab Facility. And all of a sudden, the person who was going to take care of that seal isn't there anymore, never mentioned again. Yep. And so Blonde Girl comes because it's her best friend who, runs Mystic. And I mean, we should be very specific because we're going to say Mystic a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because the movie says Mystic 22,000 times. Mystic is both the name of this town and also the name of the aquarium / rehab center.
And it is a real place and aquarium in Connecticut. Yes?
Yes. I actually didn't know that the Mystic Aquarium was in Mystic, the place. I just knew it was in Connecticut. But anyways, so the director / just person who seems to be able to make all the decisions willy-nilly is Blonde Girl's best friend. Also blonde, doesn't matter. But what does matter is that this director blonde woman has a brother. And 10 years ago, at the director woman's wedding...
Yes, which is
blonde
no longer
girl...
a wedding,
they're not
marriage.
Yeah, yes. They're not together. Blonde main girl and brother boy... They had the most romantic weekend of their whole lives.
End of description. No idea what happened. Did they kiss? No
idea.
Couldn't tell you.
And then Blonde Girl wrote a really, like, emotional, soul-pouring email to Brother Boy. That's what I'm going to call him now, by the way. Brother Boy. And then never heard back and thought that he ghosted her. But meanwhile, he maintains that he did email her back and she ghosted him. What is going to happen? So lo and behold, Blonde Girl is here now helping this seal, allegedly. And wouldn't you know it, she runs into Brother Boy. And we all know where this is heading. There are miscommunications, there are supposedly cute interactions, and then a little bit of heightened drama with another miscommunication. The seal's, like, in the background story-wise the whole time. There's not enough seal in this movie.
No, I agree.
Not at all. There are also other superfluous background characters, including 3 interns.
Who are the oldest interns I've ever seen in the world.
Also true. Also true.
Not that you can't be an intern in your 30s, but it's unusual to have all 3 interns be 30.
Yeah. A really incredible pastry chef. Also loved him. No notes on him. He's great. And then the blonde woman is also a free spirit and she never wants to settle down. And Brother Boy, it feels tied to the community and he never wants to leave. Oh, the drama. But at the end of the movie, and of course this is all happening at Christmas.
Yeah.
So on Christmas Eve or something like that. I don't actually know if it's supposed to be Christmas Eve or they just...
I think so.
No, it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
They come together and she's like, you know what? I'm gonna stay. But not for you. I'm just gonna stay. And then he's like, oh, I'm traveling now. And then they still kiss and everything's fine. And then fast forward to a year later and she's going to pick him up at the airport because she stayed in Mystic and they've been doing long distance successfully. Merry Christmas, the end.
Yeah.
First of all, it's a train station, not an airport, because it's a small town.
Correct.
But it's not that small a town.
How are you more jaded about Hallmark romance movies than us, who've been watching these movies for 2.5 years?
I asked myself that the entire time I was watching this movie. This is no surprise, considering I was the one who just gave the little summary. I hated this movie. And I do, especially because for your charts listeners, I am maybe new. Hi. Nice to have you listening to me. I am not a jaded person. I am not someone who does not like romantic comedies or even just like generic Hallmark movies or generic romance Christmas movies. I actually love them. Something about this movie made me so infuriated that I hated the whole thing. I was so mad from like 6 minutes in.
Yeah, my biggest thing with this movie was it wasn't either good enough or bad enough. It was just
exactly. Yeah,
boring.
that was my. Yeah, I was really bored through most of it.
There wasn't enough chemistry or enough cheese. Like it needed one or the other, and it had neither.
Yeah,
no,
or enough bad science. Because then it's more interesting.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
It's not Splash of Love. That's going to be at the top for best worst science
that was
movie.
like at least fun to watch because it was ridiculous.
Yeah,
this,
and also there were whales in it.
Yeah, this had very occasional seals and like background shots of generic aquarium background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was filmed at Mystic, which is fun for them, maybe. I don't know how they actually felt about it.
I mean, it's nice because, productions pay money to film at locations. And I would assume that's also why the, seal science was adequate.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a couple of notes, mainly because I watched this on the day that we went to Marine Mammal Symposium. And so it starts with her at one in Norway or something, I don't know. And she's
Amsterdam.
There's Christmas trees everywhere, and she's drinking champagne, and I was like, wow, we had pizza and coffee.
Yeah. And bring your own water bottle.
Yeah. But then later, one of the issues with the seal might be a domoic acid toxicosis, which is a thing that we learned about that day, so that was fun. Anyway. Yeah,
I think the biggest, confusion here is that it's not specific enough.
Yeah.
So she is both a rehab specialist, an administrative person, animal husbandry professional, a veterinarian, she's sort of any of those jobs at any given point in the story, depending on what they need her to be able to do. And it's weird.
Also a manager.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of my notes. Like, it starts with her giving a speech about fundraising at this conference.
Yeah.
So who is she fundraising for? Just generic seals? Because doesn't seem to be on a board or anything. And she's not, like, fundraising for her own research. Because then she's supposed to be going to generic South Africa, which at least it's not Africa, but it's still, like, Johannesburg is, like, they have cities in the country of South Africa, but whatever.
Yeah.
Regardless of any of that, then she comes to help do rehab, which she's experienced at. She does full vet checkups on the seal. But the entire point of this, which is going to move into my next rant about introversion, is that she doesn't want to mentor the interns. And I'm like, there's no way you have a doctorate, vet, doctorate, PhD, whatever your educational levels are, without being a mentor.
Yeah.
That's not how life works. There's no way you've worked at an aquarium or a rehab facility without being a mentor. Like,
or at least having to do some level of training, even if you're not, like, officially mentoring or managing people.
Like, you have interns and volunteers. That's what rehab facilities run on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have a rant before we even get to that one, which is just the fact that she is fundraising for who knows what, and then we discover quite early on her sort of, like, flighty, but isn't it cute that she just likes to never settle
Stay
down
somewhere.
and go all over the world.
Yeah.
Which is, that is not how marine biology works. So, at her level. I'm not saying that it's at the intern level, oh my gosh, yes, go and do internships all over the world, get as much experience as you can doing whatever, and that's for sure how it works. But at her level, she would have a tie to, at minimum, an academic institution.
Yeah.
And that's what would be funding her to go all over the world. Because it just paints this picture that, like, high-level marine biologists are flighty.
Yeah.
And that's completely not true. Like, she could... It is possible to be, like, a PhD marine biologist and stay in one's place. Yeah. And it's also possible to be a PhD marine biologist and travel a lot. But you're traveling a lot for a specific type of research or a specific type of work that all goes back to the credit of your institution, whether that is the organization you work for or the academic institution you work for.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I remember we had a pinniped dentist who came to work on some sea lions. And so, like, that's a thing. If you have a specialty like that,
like
then you travel around, like,
at
least the continent, maybe the world, depending on how special you are. If you live, like ear specialist in harbor seals, maybe you have to go around and look at stuff. But that's also in facilities, like, even rehab facilities, not just, like, generic things. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, she's in that very broad middle category where she wouldn't have the ability to just be, like, so, like, if she was even higher level than she is, like, world-renowned something rather, she would, like, consulting around the world and, like, providing various expertise and basically being self-employed / like, independently employed as a consultant. But she's not at that level yet either.
No, she's not. And again, like, research, and to an extent, depending on what her veterinary skills are, question mark, like, all of these places have different species of seal, and she's just like generic all species. Like, I don't know anything about pinnipeds in South Africa, but they're not the same as harbor seals. That's my
this
bold
movie
statement.
doesn't recognize that there's more than one species of seal, for sure.
Yeah. And even really has a fuzzy understanding of whether seals are different than sea lions.
Yes, also true. Yeah. All seals and pinnipeds are harbor seals. That is the end.
Yeah,
for this
they never
movie.
go out of their way. Like, they say sea lions when the stellars are on screen, but, like, there's no, like, bad identification of that, but it's they're just there for entertainment, which is fine. It's a funny scene with the training. But anyway, okay, well, let's talk about how movies, especially Hallmark movies, use being introverted as a bad thing that needs to be cured, because this made me the most mad. So her whole thing is that she's introverted and shy and therefore always says the wrong thing unless she's prepared. Yeah. Which, like, as an introvert, I feel like it's the opposite. If I have to give a speech in front of people, that makes me feel worse than talking to volunteers or brothers of my best friend. Like, you know. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, it conflates introversion and shyness, which are two different things.
Two different things.
Yeah.
And then, so she's all about all of this, but then she talks about not only traveling the world by herself, which scares the shit out of me as an introvert. Like, no thank you.
Yeah.
But she's like, my favorite Christmas was when I stayed in this random Polish person's house at Christmas. And I'm like, that's not, you can't, there's no way that that's a thing that you did if you're introverted and shy. Like, What?
Yeah. And
so, yeah, it's...
And also, yeah, introversion isn't, like, a problem to get over.
No.
It's just a facet of somebody's personality.
Yeah, and just, like, and it doesn't really go hand in hand with her being so flighty and also traveling the world and not wanting to settle down. Like, all introverts want to do is settle down. Maybe alone, but also maybe not alone. They just want to sit in their house and read a book. Okay, the garbage truck's here, so somebody else talk.
In general, the stuff they do with the seals is fine. Like, there's no, they're not, like, feeding the seals, I don't know, melon or chicken or chaotic things. Like, they look after the seals in an appropriate way. And it is interesting, though, to watch, like, if you know how the shots work. Like, if you look at all the shots where they have close-ups or interactions with the seals, like, they're very carefully structured to be able to hide the real trainers and animal care professionals.
Yeah, very much so.
Which is kind of cool.
I only had two kind of like qualms about the seal rehab depiction. There are more nitpicky ones, but there are only two that really stuck out to me. One was they have a scheduled release date for this seal before she's even assessed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not how that works. And then they keep talking about like needing to the seal's name is Peppermint. And that's cute. It's cute. I like it. I understand why they kept it. But they keep talking about how like they need to get Peppermint out before Christmas because it's a Christmas movie, and of course that's not how that works, especially when Peppermint gets sick two times.
Yep.
And days before she's scheduled for release, which it would make sense that like eventually once you've assessed an animal and you have spent a lot of time looking at their history and what they're capable of and how their rehabilitation is proceeding, you could make a schedule for release after all of that work is done. But then if that animal gets sick enough to the point that they need to go on antibiotics
and like not just broad spectrum antibiotics, but like specialized,
like
probably injected,
and like a course of antibiotics. It's not a one and done thing. 2 days before she's supposed to be released, she's not gonna be released 2 days later. I mean, most humans have had to take antibiotics. It's usually like a week-long thing. And with animals, especially if you're treating something specific, it can be a really long time. And then you have to do the whole like prep for release assessment again. And usually you're really backtracked by that kind of course for antibiotics if you do have to inject them or do any kind of invasive procedure, because the whole point of getting an animal, this is bringing me to my second qualm, is the whole point of getting an animal ready for release into the ocean is that you are not just limiting human contact, but actually making human contact adverse for that animal. And hey, guess what? If you then need that animal to trust you enough to be able to treat it with antibiotics, and I'm going to be really, really nitpicky here for a second, because yes, you actually can treat an animal by putting medicine into the food that they're eating, which is less invasive, but that doesn't seem like what they're doing.
Well, they're also at the point of before she gets sick, they're doing live feeding.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So you can't put antibiotics in a live fish and then be like, here, eat this.
No. So you're either going back to like catching that animal and using an injection method, or you're backtracking a step to using dead fish with the medicine in the fish. Anyway, any of all of that would mean that animal's not ready for release. So that's my number one. You don't schedule a release date before you've even laid eyes on the animal. But my second issue with the way that the rehabilitation was is I actually wouldn't have minded so much if they hadn't pointed it out. She actively says to the interns, we're going to be limiting our contact with her to get her ready to be released. And the point of that is you're trying not to habituate that animal to humans. You're trying to not teach that animal that humans mean good things. You want that animal to be naturally hesitant around humans when it does go back out into the ocean. And she points that out to the interns and then has heart-to-heart conversations 6 inches away from its face.
Yeah.
Talking about, like, are you ready, girl? Are you ready to go back up? Oh, maybe I should stay. I can still visit, can't I? Because they're drawing parallels between Blonde Woman and Peppermint.
Yeah. Of, like, being ready to be released and blah. Yeah. It's very tenuous and not good for the science of the movie.
Yeah, and also she can't talk to humans, but so she talks to animals, which, like, again, the scene with the sea lions and the niece and stuff, that's very adorable. But I'm like, you are in a town with your best friend for the first time since ? So talk to your best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, do we have anything else specific to SEAL rehab things?
Just the one thing is that these people, even Blonde Woman in charge of the aquarium, never seen aquarium people ever look this put together. Blonde Woman only she does wear a puffy coat when she's working with the animals, but no real, like, wet work clothes. They're all so clean. They're all so put together. And the kitchen, lab, office space they work in, even with the metal, whatever, I guess it's supposed to be kind of the kitchen. It's definitely not actually at Mystic. That's a set. Is so clean. There's nothing anywhere ever. And then later at the behind the scenes of the aquarium where she's asleep, which we'll get to, there's like Christmas decorations everywhere behind the scenes.
Yeah, in her office, which, like, okay, so I did decorate my office when I was a manager at an aquarium. Maybe she was like me and she did that herself. But the fact that they match all of the other there's also Christmas decorations
everywhere in the front, like along all of the rocks. Yeah. There's like garlands and ornaments and stuff. I'm like, okay, that's going to fall in the habitat and kill an animal. Whatever.
Yeah.
So one big thing is that when Peppermint gets sick, she notices, because she wants to check on her, which is fine, on the nanny cam or whatever she has on her, and she can't see her, so they go in, and that's a whole bonding scene. But so this animal, she's concerned enough to have a nanny cam, but it's not on 24-hour watch. Yeah. Then she stays there for 48 hours, doesn't call anyone, including her interns, whose job that is, and then...
Yeah, why weren't they there at least during the daytimes of the 48-hour period?
So, well, like, when they come back in, it seems like it's a Monday, so they weren't working the weekend, and like, that, okay.
Never in the history of interns have interns who work for an organization that's open 7 days a week not worked
on the weekends.
Like, especially all three of them.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, we'll take care of it, go home and sleep. And she's like, no, I have to do it. I'm like, no, that's what interns are for. They watch them, and then they call you if there's an emergency that you need to be there for, whatever that might be. And then later she's like, thank you for doing that. And the intern's like, we're all a team. I'm like, no, this is your job. You have to learn how to do watch on sick animals and deal with that. That's why being an intern is for. That's why what working at a rehab facility is for. Like, oh. Yeah. And then also she, like, shines a flashlight right in Peppermint's eyes. Like, where are you? Are you sick? And then the whole thing with releasing on Christmas, just in general, Christmas is a stat. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, you're paying all of those people so much money.
That is different in the States versus Canada, I think.
That's true.
Still, yeah.
And then one other thing about the aquarium is that both the niece or the little girl, whatever, somehow gets to in behind the scenes with the sea lions by herself, like sitting right next to them.
That's absurd. Yeah.
Yeah. And then one point later that goes unexplained, Brother Boy is in putting decorations in the habitat with penguins, and she's like, oh, he's so cute. I'm like, he doesn't work at the aquarium.
Yeah.
No. Why is he in there? Why is he giving these penguins decorations that they're going to eat?
Yeah. And also penguins are mean.
I know.
Yeah. He would be bit so many times.
I know. It's those kinds of parts that I'm like, similar to when we did Winter's Tale. I'm like, oh, those poor trainers that have to watch this and be like, no.
Seem like this
and
is
also,
the thing
like,
that happens.
train those penguins to not be afraid of those decorations.
Like, painted rocks or whatever they are.
Yeah. Okay.
Good times. Okay, I guess the only other thing I had was the whole, like, sand dollar Christmas ornament thing. So, sand dollars, when you find them on the beach, are, in fact, parts of dead animals. Guess what happens when dead animals die? They get real smelly. And, like, you can clean, like, bleach out, like, sand dollar tests and make them not smelly, but it doesn't seem like this is what they did. And also, they're very much just encouraging people to, like, go to the beach, pick up dead animal bodies and decorate them and hang them on your tree.
The tree will smell so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
So here's our public service announcement that shells at tests, which is what I know it's what an urchin is. Also, she says that sand dollars
are a type of urchin. I know
that's not true. They're in a type of echinoderm.
Yeah, it's not like the worst thing. It's not like she said they're a type of clam or something. But
but like any part of a dead animal that you find on the beach or rocks or just the beach, any part of the beach, please leave it there. Okay, and especially for the listeners who I am new to, I have 2 young children. I know how special that specialist of special rocks is.
Yeah.
And how they can't live without it. I do know that.
Yeah.
I have that conversation a gazillion times every time we go anywhere. But especially the parts that were once alive, so the shells and the tests, they're so important to the ecosystem, even though the animal's dead. The shells become new homes for growing hermit crabs and, like, shelter for smaller little shore crabs and things like that. And it's just, please leave them there. Please don't make ornaments out of them.
Yeah. Be inspired by the shape of a sea urchin or a sand dollar to make an ornament, but just leave it there. Take a picture.
Take a picture. You know what you can take from the beach, though? Garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage. And
don't put that on your Christmas tree, though.
No, but, like,
unless you want to.
You can make some really incredible stuff with it, and sea glass is considered garbage. Yeah. So if you are at a marine beach, and actually sea glass exists in freshwater beaches too, because people drop glass into the water all the time. Sea glass is totally fine to take, and it's pretty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
She was talking about the little hairs on sand dollars, so I really thought she was going to break out Pedicularia, but I thought too highly of this movie.
Yeah, it would have been amazing if they'd gotten that word in the script.
Yes.
Okay. Other observations before we move on to tropes?
At the end, when she decides to stay, she's supposed to be going to South Africa the next day on the 26th. So she's like, I'm staying, which is a dick move in general.
Yeah.
But then she's like, I'll give this volunteer position to the intern. She can go. And I'm like, the next day? Does she have... Can you change the ticket? Does she have a passport?
A visa?
Does she have a visa? Does she have
work over there?
vaccines? I know that you need specific things to go to Africa.
Also, an intern and a veterinarian
slash research doctor person.
Project, is
different
not an equivalent
skill levels.
Equivalent position. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So that's annoying.
Okay.
And do you want to talk about the Mystic Pizza?
Yeah. So this was a thing that was. I did some Googling because the trivia was not helpful to me. So this. Apparently, this is an homage to Mystic Pizza, which I guess was also filmed in Mystic. It took place in Mystic. But everyone who said that was like, there's no similarities. It's just called Mystic Christmas. And I'm like, okay.
And like the brother boy runs a pizza restaurant. Like he owns a pizza shop. So that's the only thing.
And that's really it. So I'm like, that's weird. And also not a reason enough to not call it Sealed with a Kiss. Yeah. And one of the things I was reading about this said that it was hilarious and it was wall-to-wall jokes. And I was like, are we watching a different movie?
Wow.
Yeah.
There were no jokes.
No.
The funniest part was the sea lions turning their heads.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was
I
cute.
did like that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk through all the tropes, because there's a lot, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh wait,
Okay.
I have one more
one
that
more.
can,
Oh, sorry.
is a transition. A
Yeah,
transition-y
a
one.
transition-y observation. Nice.
Because it is a trope in how they film Christmas rom-coms. So most Christmas rom-coms, well, A, are filmed in Vancouver, where we live, and B, are filmed in the summertime, or the spring, even.
Yes.
And this is apparent to me on release day, because it is so clearly not cold
Yeah.
on the beach on the day that they're
in
released.
Connecticut.
On the sand.
And it's like pretending to be all bundled up, and they look miserable. It must have been so hot at that beach.
Yep.
Anyways,
Yeah.
there
So
you
yeah,
go.
that's definitely a rom-com trope for sure. This was not filmed in the winter.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, first up we've got the main character who's so introverted, except like goes on crazy adventures and delivers talks and yeah.
Yeah. We've got the small town, which is like a whole thing, especially with Brother Boy, like knowing everybody and helping all the people and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Plus, like all of the events, which we'll talk about as well. But like there's so many Christmas events that everybody goes to. Ugh.
Yeah. We've got a fun, quirky, cute, wise kid. She's actually pretty good. I like her.
She is.
Yeah.
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 And I like the part where they do the Icelandic
Oh, the book exchange?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except,
that.
oh, here's a gripe. She gives him, they all get like cool new books that like match what their interests are. And she gets him a book he's read that he just takes out from the library and
Yeah.
doesn't own.
Yeah.
But he'd never been able to finish it.
Ugh,
Because
still.
Yes, because it was always due back before he finished it. So it was thoughtful.
I guess
just
it was
stupid.
still just, it was a, yeah. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
We've got overeager interns, which like interns isn't really a trope, but overeager young people that help
Yeah.
move the plot and help the main character find who she is and blah blah.
Yeah,
blah,
and
blah,
then
blah.
and
Yeah.
the like the cute side romance of the
Yeah.
the gay
The
intern
intern.
and the bakery guy. Yeah, that was
that
cute.
part I was into. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other intern who was hilariously overeager would like worked at the historical society and loved the
Yeah.
town so much.
Yes.
That kid I was into.
Yeah, they were all
But
young.
also, the interns were the most realistic part of the
Yes.
movie.
Yeah. Except that they were all, maybe it was just like, I'm just not good at guessing people's ages, but they all just seemed too old. Like
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
age-wise, and also like we've already mentioned as well, like put togetherness wise,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
their attitude,
Yes.
and
Their
their
enthusiasm. Yeah.
keener beaners
Yes.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got. I was trying to think of like a spacey, like not paradox, because we've already got the red shoe point shoe paradox, but something like that. The Cameron Diaz effect, because we have multiple big wool fancy ass
She
coats
has at least 4.
in
didn't
a
count
very
very well.
small backpack, and
Yeah.
she has
Yeah.
no other luggage except this backpack that goes like from her waist to her. Like it's not big. It's not a long.
No, it's a carry-on size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, yes, she was in Amsterdam giving a speech at a fancy conference,
Yeah,
and then
so
she
she
was
could
going
have-
to Norway for Christmas.
Yeah.
So, yes, wool coats, sure.
Singular
Singular,
wool coat.
yes.
I could buy.
Because then she was going right from Norway to South Africa.
Yeah. Which, like, where does she live, though?
Yeah.
Well, and
I-
so that's the other thing is it's not even that she had these 4+ winter coats, but why does she own that many fancy wool coats?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And, like, why doesn't she
Yeah.
own some Helly Hansen rain gear
Yeah.
and Keens?
Exactly, yeah. She's dressed like a Hallmark star, not a
Yes.
uh,
But yeah,
marine biologist.
the thing with the coats definitely was like, this is a Cameron Diaz
Cameron Diaz trope.
in the
Yeah.
holiday trope. And she at least had 3 suitcases, so it made more sense that she had 8 coats or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
okay.
still.
Yeah. Next up, we've got there's a big Christmas party on Christmas Eve with a toy drive.
Yeah. The toy drive was the thing that bothered me the most, because like, it's a trope, it's a Christmas movie, of course that things have to happen on Christmas Eve, but I'm like, where are these toys going? Are they for next year? Like, what's happened?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
There's just so many events that they end up going to together that draw them closer. There's like a boat parade and a lantern thing and
Yeah.
the other thing, and then they also have to go to the
Planetarium thing and
committee meetings for the Christmas Eve thing that
Yeah,
are also
so many
like
events.
2 days before the party. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then we have a 1 year later epilogue, which, obviously was definitely going to
Look,
happen.
they're doing it.
Yeah.
They're doing the thing. They're
Yep,
still
they did
together.
the thing. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of rich white people being able to travel the world all over the place on a marine biology paycheck, but whatever.
Yeah.
Well, which brings me to one of my sort of pet peeves about the trope, which is like the entrenchedness of this dichotomy they're creating, this fake dichotomy of like you either have to stay in Mystic forever, never leave, and you're stuck here forever, or you never settle anywhere and you just travel around always with no home.
Yeah.
That's not, neither of those things are how life has to work.
Yeah.
And it's this fake, this
conflict.
It's this fake conflict they've developed. It was like, guys, vacations exist.
And also you can like travel for work, like you can work somewhere. We know many people that do this, work somewhere and then like get invited to consult as a professional for like a week here and there at another facility, or like give a talk or do a training.
Yep.
Like,
and the brother boy, he's hasn't seen anywhere in the world, and so instead of doing like, okay, I'm gonna take 2 weeks off and go on a vacation, it's like, no, I'm leaving my business and I'm going to travel for a whole year. And maybe even after that, I'll keep traveling. No, you can keep working and just take vacations.
Take time off.
Yeah.
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 That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, and then last trope I've got is that they're just such bad communicators.
They're so bad.
Like, okay, so the whole thing is that he thinks that he sent her an email 10 years ago. Like, he replied to her email. And then he finds out on Christmas that it was... he just never sent the email. Like, why wouldn't you have checked your, like, unsent emails or your draft emails, like, 9.5 years ago? Or, like, a week
when
after
you didn't get a response?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry, you haven't looked in your draft folder, which very clearly, because we see the screen, that's the only thing in there.
Yeah.
You haven't looked in your draft folder for 10 years?
And also, or seeing the, like, little number 1 in your drafts and be like, what is that?
Oh, man. Yeah, so ridiculous. Okay. Lindsay, does this movie pass the Bechdel test?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they talk about work all the time and how she doesn't want the job and she wants the job and blah, blah, blah. And actually, it has a lot of that conversation has very little to do with Brother Boy. The problem that I have is that most Hallmark movies do pass the Bechdel test because they're talking about their job and their big thing that they have to finish by Christmas Eve and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But they're so bad for feminism that this is another one of the many flaws that self-proclaimed by Alison Bechdel that the Bechdel test has, is that just because it does pass doesn't mean it is a good movie for women or feminism.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't a bad movie. She doesn't quit her job to be with the man as opposed to most Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
But it's not great for female characters.
Yeah. I do like, one of the climactic miscommunications in this movie is that she has to go because Peppermint is not really crashing, but like she has to go and check on Peppermint and take her for tests, and so sends a text like, hey, I can't make it to our date tonight, and it doesn't explain. That's fine, regardless of whether she said it was for Peppermint or not. I like that she never apologizes.
Yeah.
She does apologize for not having communicated better, but like the fact that her job had to come first is not vilified in any way. It's not vilified by the film, and it's not vilified by him or her. Like the internal logic and the external evaluation of this movie is all okay with the fact that she prioritized her job over a date with him.
Yeah.
I mean, that is good. That is good.
Yeah.
It's still just like her big accomplishment of the movie isn't releasing the seal. It's keeping a boyfriend until next Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was going to say that the only strong female character was the little girl, but then I remembered that she solved her introverted problem by reading the poem, and then by the next year she was doing debate club, because introvertedness is a thing to cure. Yeah. And therefore she is a better person because she is not introverted anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Which, like, okay, sorry, I'm going to go off on a tangent about being introverted for a second. I am an introvert. I just happen to be an extroverted introvert.
Or like an introvert who's good at public speaking.
Yes. I routinely go and give presentations that I've both prepped for and off the cuff in front of hundreds of people. And I can do that because it is a skill that I have. It has nothing to do with whether I'm introverted or not. What does have to do with me being introverted is that mentally exhausts me.
Yeah.
Because I get my energy from being alone, and my energy is expelled, or is used up by being around other people. That doesn't mean I don't like being around other people. It just means it is tiring. Mm-hmm. And that I recharge when I'm alone. That's what being an introvert is. There's lots of different ways that can present itself in people, but like, it's possible for that kid to still be an introvert and be in debate club.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the movie is not that nuanced.
It's not that nuanced at all. No. No.
Or interested in it, because it's written by extroverts, and from an extrovert's point of view, being an introvert is wrong and bad and not something that they can understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a person who is friends with extroverts who are like, why are you home alone right now? And I'm like, because that's what I want to
and
do.
what I need to do to be a functioning human tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels great. Being alone is great.
A+.
It's the best. And and also it can be with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Being alone with my friends, like going on a walk with my friend, is the same kind of recharging, because I don't have to present or anything. We can talk about Buffy, which we've been talking about for 20 years, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
let's make a pie.
Yay.
Okay. First ingredient in the pie, overeager interns. Oh, they're so overeager. And there's 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So 30? 33? Yeah, 33.
33%.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I like that.
So there's a lot of eating random food and talking about how good the food is, and maybe this is a Mystic Pizza thing. I haven't seen Mystic Pizza, so who knows? But there's
like 30 years ago.
They eat pizza multiple times. They eat a lot of different things. A lot of it
Baked
is like
goods.
Small town. You have to try this because this lobster roll is better than it is in Massachusetts. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what if we cut this and put more seal stuff in?
Or more like romancy charm stuff.
Yeah.
20?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, winter coats.
40, because she has at least 4.
Sure.
So dumb.
And also, director sister has some really excellent.
They are really
coats.
nice coats. Like A+
And,
on the coats.
Yeah, it's Connecticut in the winter, and person has a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And enough money to have coats and doesn't work with animals, so I at least allow her to have nice coats.
Hers makes more sense.
Yes. And that leaves us with 7%?
Yep.
7% pizza.
Pizza. Yep.
Yep.
Amazing. Okay, what do we all think is next for them?
Well, we have an epilogue, and
Yeah.
everything seems to be fine, and that's as far as I care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also don't care. Yeah, they made it a year doing
Yeah.
long distance. I mean, maybe they won't be able to stick it out when they're actually living in the same city for more than a couple
and
weeks
maybe
at a time. But
she will get bored doing whatever this running the rehab facility is.
yeah.
And,
Or like
but also,
be ready
like,
for a promotion and not have
leave.
that available to her in the small town of Mystic. But, you know, they're in the Northeast. There's lots of other facilities near-ish by. So, who knows? Maybe they'll make it work. Okay. So, normally this is where, if you're a charts listener, we wrap up the podcast. But this is also Whale Tales Watches. So now, Nicole, what do we have next?
We talk about our pettiest pet peeves. Everybody gets to pick the pet peeve that peeved them the most in the movie and share it. Lindsay, what was yours?
Well, I think it's pretty well known what mine is, and I have a real one from the movie, but I'm sure you guys will pick it. But my obviously pettiest pet peeve is this movie is not called Sealed with a Kiss. What the fuck? How about the 3 of us spend a afternoon together and write a better movie called Sealed with a Kiss?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's do it. Yes, I fully support that pettiest pet peeve. Mine is probably the winter coats. How do they fit in her tiny backpack? I would like to know her packing secrets,
Even
please.
puffer jackets, which shrink down, still take up space in a backpack.
Take up so
The
much
puffer
space.
jacket is Mystic, like,
I know it's a
uniform,
Mystic
so
one,
she didn't bring that with her. But
Just thinking about the coats that I have and putting them in bags and suitcases.
agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, and Nicole?
Okay, so I have a real pet peeve, and then I have an extremely nitpicky pet peeve.
Excellent. I'm here for both of these.
The real one is what the actual F on both blonde woman and blonde director woman.
Oh, with the hiring? I knew it was
with
going to
the
bother you.
job.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not to both of them. They are both being so... Okay. Sorry. I'm very angry about this.
Yeah.
First of all, on the director's side of things, do people get offered a job who haven't interviewed for it before? Yes, absolutely. Especially in specialized fields.
Yes.
This woman, for all that we're told in the movie, is really qualified, is really sought after, has a huge amount of relevant experience. It makes complete and total sense to me that this director would, regardless of the fact that they're best friends, would offer blonde woman the job.
Yeah.
That's fine. What's not okay is to go back and forth and put people through the process of interviewing. She's done interviews because she's talking about, we never see them because that doesn't matter, but she's talking about the fact that she's ready to offer the job to someone else, and earlier she talked about an interview process. So she has put other people through the process of making them work and think they're going to get a job that she had no intention of ever giving to them. And I hate that so much.
Especially for her best friend. Like, it's not even like a random or like a external candidate that she just like professionally would like in this role. It's like her best friend.
Yeah.
Also, it's on like Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're like, she's like, I'm going to offer the job to somebody tomorrow. And I'm like, tomorrow is Christmas. What?
I don't understand.
And then, on the blonde woman's side of things, going into your best friend / director's office, who's your, like, she's her boss also right now, and saying, I know you're doing interviews, but also I might want to stay because I'm in love with your brother. And so maybe, like, could you just hold the job for me? But I'm not saying I'm going to have the job. I saw fire. I saw fire at the entitledness of that. Absolutely not. And then my most angry part about this whole situation is when blonde woman actually does tell the director, no, I'm not taking the job, I'm going to South Africa. The director still holds the job for her. Yeah. She has told you, she has given you a verbal decline of this job. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I hate all of it. But on a lighter note, my really nitpicky petty pet peeve is the blinking you'll miss it scene where she buys pastries for all of the interns. And the pastry chef warns her that one of the interns doesn't like sweets. And so she has this, like, box of savory pastries that she, like, flourishes. Like, look, we've got savory. Do you know what those savory pastries are? Do you know? Have you looked? Go back and check the footage. Pain au chocolat.
They couldn't put a fucking cheese scone in there.
Don't you, Hallmark, try and pass sweet pastries off as savory pastries. For me, a connoisseur of all things pastry. Those are pain au chocolat. You never make anything look like that. The only thing that ever looks like that is pain au chocolat. Yeah. That is a sweet pastry. You are stupid.
Amazing. And this is why we call the segment Pettiest Pet Peeves.
Yep. My real one was going to be the sad dollars, but the title of the movie is more important.
Much more important. Yeah.
And more petty.
Yeah.
Okay. And finally,
we are going to rate the accuracy of this film that we all had such strong feelings about. So with Whale Tales Watches, we have a Whale Tale accuracy scale where we rate the thing that we read or watched out of a scale of 10 whale tales, where 10 is super scientific and 1 is farcical fiction. So we're not reading the entire film, we're only reading the marine biology, like the sciencey aspects of the film. What would we rate? I want to just call it Sealed with a Kiss. What would we rate Mr. Christmas?
Okay, so for some reference, we gave Free Willy 2 got a 6. Finding Nemo got a 9. Dolphin Tale got a 7.5. I'm gonna go with like 7.
Yeah, like that's what the science is.
The science is fine.
They talk about domoic acid something. Can't remember what it's called.
Toxoplasmosis.
They also, like, he mentions a couple of other. Like, they did some research. I mean, maybe that research was go to the Mystic vet and be like, tell us some things. Probably. But like they did that. They didn't call sea lions seals. They didn't have Callies barking for stellars, like the normal pinniped problems that exist in movies. So
yeah, it was really just the oversimplification.
It didn't. I had less problems with it than I did Free Willy 2, but it doesn't feel as accurate as Dolphin Tale.
I agree. Like, comparing the two being animals at an aquarium thing, like, obviously there was more science to Winter's story, and also she had more story than this generic harbor seal, but I think 7 is good.
Yeah. Okay.
And that brings us to the end of this special collaborative episode. Right?
It does. Yes.
So we just want to thank all of you who are our Whale Tales patrons. And we just cannot thank you enough for supporting what we do at Whale Tales. You mean the world to us, and we hope you have a whaley great holiday.
And to all of our charts patrons and listeners, thank you so much for joining us. We just love being able to do this ridiculous podcast with you.
Yes, thank you all for joining us. And in the meantime, give a seal a fish and she'll eat for a day. Teach a seal to fish, and she'll eat for a lifetime, barring natural predators and a decline in natural resources.
Best line.
Amazing.
Well, that was quite the fun little trip down memory lane and ranty lane, or ranty road. That sounds better.
Ranty,
sure.
Yeah, ranty road, ranty alley. Yeah,
We know that patrons or whale level patrons have heard this episode before, but hopefully you enjoyed listening again. If you did, I enjoyed listening again. And for all of you who are listening to this for the first time, we hope that you enjoyed this special holiday episode and getting a little taste of what it's like to join us as a whale level patron for Whale Tales Watches. Because this is pretty on brand.
Much what it is.
Yes. Yes. If you did actually like this podcast, we do have 16 other Whale Tales Watches episodes that are available over on our Patreon at patreon.com/whaletales, and you can listen to them at the $10 a month or the whale level on our Patreon, which also gives you access to our Journal Club podcast, which is like we sort of do in like an alternating month special podcast episode. And there's also some fun other perks. So yeah, feel free to come join us over there. We would love to see you.
Yeah, and if you want to check out Charts and Hearts, you can see our episodes at chartsandhearts.com. And we also have a Patreon where we cover super romantic movies like Speed, and also did The Italian Job this summer.
I forgot you guys did that.
We have a lot of fun theme months,
adjacent.
And so we... Oh, Sister Act 2, that was in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very rom-commy.
Very rom-commy. Anyway, we have a lot of fun over there, and it's pretty silly. You can check out that Patreon at patreon.com/chartsandheartsclub.
Thank you all so much for joining us, not just for this episode, but throughout this whole year, and for all the many years, for those of you who've been listening for quite some time. I know we say it every episode, but we really can't say enough how much we appreciate you inviting us into your ears and into your lives. So thank you so, so much for being a fan and a supporter of Whale Tales, and we hope you have a whaley great holiday season.